Well, thank you so much for doing this with me.
Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah, are you ladies having a good day?
Yes, it's Project for Awesome Day.
Oh, okay. What does that mean?
Do you know about that?
I don't, no.
It's a charity day. It's a charity day on YouTube run by the Vlog Brothers where everybody puts up fundraising videos and comments and likes to raise money for various charities. And of course, we support Because I Am a Girl, which is the charity in our show.
Oh my gosh, how cool. So it's a big day today.
Yeah, check it out.
And I'm going to after this. That sounds so neat. Well, yeah, I was just, I'd been going through, I watched almost every episode of your show in one sitting, and I loved it, mainly because I read every Nancy Drew book as a kid. So how did you guys kind of come up with the idea, and why did you decide to use transmedia? And then Madison, how did you kind of get involved? You just kind of want to give a general overview, and then we can do specifics.
Like you, I'm a big Nancy Drew reader. I was a big Nancy Drew reader. I'm also a big fan of Veronica Mars, and I've been a television writer for a very long time. I've worked in kids, and I've also worked in drama, and I had a lot of experience writing mystery, and it seemed to me a real shame that there were no mysteries on television right now for kids. And so I took my concept for girl detective to the web.
Why did you decide that the web was something that you really wanted to join, especially for kids? Because I feel like there's not a lot of kids shows online at all.
Which is a huge and crazy mistake because kids are the most avid users of online video of anybody, and they don't care. They have no preconceived notions about whether something's been on television or whether it's original to the web. They just looking for a good story. And I personally have always been involved in kind of interactive media. I had a software company in the 80s and made software for the Atari 400 and the Commodore 64. So
wow.
What is that?
So those are some of the very first home computers that there ever were, and I'm hoping that the internet is caught up and is ready for us to be really making entertainment on it now.
Neat. Well, Madison, how did you kind of get involved? How did you decide, you know what, I want to do this web series, and has it been a big change from being in film?
Well, it's not very different for me at all. Like filming web and filming TV, it's pretty much the same thing for the process of it. But I got involved, I auditioned for it, so it was more that they chose me to do it. And it was just a really exciting thing to be involved with, I think. It's a great character, and it's a great story, and it's really fun to do, so there's no real choice. It was just, I definitely want to do this for sure.
The second I saw Madison's even her picture, I knew she was the Ruby Skye that I wanted. And then she came in and she gave the world's greatest audition. It was so perfect. There was no question in our mind that she would be Ruby, and it is a tremendous pleasure to watch her perform in this role.
Aw, well, that's so sweet. What was the audition process like?
It was exactly the same as any television audition. It was my agent sent me, and they gave us one or two scenes.
Two scenes.
And I memorized the lines, and then came in, did it the way that I practiced, and then Kelly, the director, gave some notes, and we did it again, and then that was it. And then a couple days later, my dad called me at work and was like, "You got the part," and I was like, "That's pretty sick."
That's awesome. What is your favorite part about this character for both of you?
You go first.
Well, what I love about Ruby is that she is unstoppable. When she gets something in her head, she just goes after it without any thought to the consequences. And I love her determination in that respect, and I love story-wise what that leads to.
Yeah, I like that she's very much like a real person. She's very relatable. She makes a lot of mistakes, and she's a big person and will own up to it after. And she's just she's a very, even though she makes a lot of mistakes and doesn't necessarily do well in everything that she does, she's still somebody that you can look up to and who you know is a good person.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I've always wanted to ask this. When you're developing characters like this, do you find that little bits of your own personality or like pieces of people that you know come into like the writing or the acting of this character?
Absolutely. Now, I write Ruby Skye PI with my writing partner Julie Strassman Cohn. So I think in many respects, Ruby's voice is a kind of a combination of the two of the best parts of both of us. And then, I mean, certainly when we wrote the first script, it really was that, and now it's in the second season. It's also partly Madison too, because we've watched the first season over and over again and get her feel when we write for her now.
Neat. In what ways can fans really interact with Ruby? Because there's so many features online, but what are like the most popular ones? What have you kind of had to change along the way?
Well, I mean, what we have in this season is you can solve the clues along with Ruby. So in every episode, we put the clues that she finds up on our website, and we found a lot of people who are solving those along with us. And then we have a lot of kind of world-building websites in our world. So the Haunted Library this season is called the O'Deary Library, and at o'dearylibrary.com you can go and to that site and sort of see some stuff about the characters, but also book reviews and so on. What we're finding is that the people who are watching this season particularly are really avid book readers. They are really intrigued by, the books that are mentioned in the show and the clues that are built around them. So we've sort of gone on to YouTube and found all the booktubers, the people who review books, and have sucked their book reviews into our O'Deary website. So that's a kind of cool way to interact with the property, a little bit indirect, but to put give us your favorite book reviews to share with our community.
Oh, I didn't even know that was like a big community. That's really neat.
It's a huge community. And another thing that's been really great for us is we have 4 Tumblr blogs supporting the show. One is just sort of like the Ruby Skye PI Tumblr, and then Ruby's little sister Haley has a Tumblr. Diana, Not in the Mean Girl, has a Tumblr. And the Minship Girls, who are the fictional band, have a Tumblr. And we've had a lot of sharing of the gifts we put up there. So we've built a lot of gifts around the show, and those the community really seems to like too.
And even just that it's on YouTube, I mean, it gives people a chance to comment, and it gives us a chance to see people's feedback right away, whereas if it was just on TV or something, you wouldn't get that feedback, and you wouldn't get those views or the likes or anything. So that's even, I think, a pretty big part of the interaction with the audience.
What I love is just whenever we get a subscriber is going to their YouTube channel
with their likes,
seeing who they are.
You can see who's watching and stuff.
And watch their videos. I love that.
Did you think that it would grow to this proportion? I mean, I feel like you have a huge fan base. Like, you're getting into season 2. Like, did you dream that it would be this big?
I have a good fantasy life. Yes. I'd like Ruby to exist for a long time. I'd like her to have the kind of life that Nancy Drew has had, and take her into other platforms and so on. And see if we can't. I think a girl detective. I think it's a fascinating character for many of us, and I'd just like to see her live on in many ways.
How do you hope that she continues growing?
Books.
Oh, okay.
TV movie, something like that, as well as continuing our web series.
Oh, that's neat. I feel like books is something that no one ever brings up when I talk to them. I love that.
It's always the other way around.
Yes, it is always the other way around. So that's very cool. Well, what do we all have in store for the next season coming up with Ruby?
Well, I think we've got a couple of ideas that we're playing around with. One of them would be called The Maltese Puppy, and Ruby's little sister Haley has a dog walking business because Haley does everything. And when she gets sick, she sends Ruby out to walk her dogs, and Ruby comes back with an extra puppy. And that would be the mystery of the Maltese Puppy, to find out where that
It's so cute.
dog is. And so that's one of the stories we're working on right now. And since our director Kelly Harms has just gotten a new dog, I feel very confident about shooting with dogs.
Well, Madison, what do you kind of have on your plate now besides this?
I'm in school. I'm in university, so that's pretty much my biggest thing now. I have a job. I'm a hostess/waitress, so that's another thing. But I've auditioned stuff around Toronto for other things, but I'm not working on anything at the moment. So hopefully something will come up soon.
If you were to give advice to someone else who came and they didn't really understand transmedia, and they wanted to develop a series, what advice would you have for them balancing all of these different, I mean, you have 4 Tumblrs, you have a YouTube channel, it's so much content, like being able to have people come to your site and feel like they know what they're doing, they're not overwhelmed with content, how do you manage that?
Well, there are a few questions there, but I'll choose the, what advice do I have for people? I would say, we're in an unprecedented, really wonderful time right now for people who want to make things and who want to build things to reach an audience. And my first piece of advice would be go out there and make something. Do it within your budget, within your time constraints, with your resources, but make something, because there's an incredible pleasure in making things, and also the ability we have right now to connect with our audiences, which we haven't had in the media for a really long time. And then, be open, listen to the audience and see what they want to do, take their suggestions, because that's how you build things that people like, is by listening to them. And if they say,
accept the feedback.
Yeah, and if they say, I like the funny voice, do the funny voice. If they say, skip the scary bits, skip the scary bits. And it's the same as telling a story to a little kid, one-on-one. We have this really cool thing now where the audience can respond to you in a way that they never could in TV and film, and it's a great time to take advantage of it. So go!
Yeah, thank you so much again for doing this.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, well, have a good rest of your day.
Okay, you too. Happy holidays.
Oh, happy holidays. Good meeting you both.
Bye.
Bye.